www.kaiternewsonline.com or the MyTuner app, Radio Garden app, and you can also join us on Facebook at Kaieteur Radio. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
A pleasant good morning to you and welcome to this your Sunday, January 24th morning newscast. I am Joshua Van Slegman. Thank you for joining us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Before we get to the news in details, let's bring to you today's front page comment titled Jail Them. 33 years ago, robberies were rampant around the Stabroek Market area. The pockets of housewives were slashed and their handbags ripped from their arms while they were focused on their purchases. The authorities, including the Guyana Police Force and the City Constabulary, appeared helpless in preventing or halting these daily attacks. Something had to be done, and it was by a citizens that triggered action. Following a letter published in the newspaper by one Glenn Lal, the Commissioner of Police held a meeting with Lal and two policemen were specially assigned to address this problem. Lal, with the support of the authorities, built a lockup at the Stabroek Market to detain those targeting and robbing shoppers. The result was that crime disappeared from the area. The idea of similar facilities, this time to jail or crooked politicians, is likely to enjoy public support, especially when one considers how these politicians have conspired to deprive our people of the country's oil wealth. We are not being funny. All those who have colluded to sell out our future and to allow our oil well to be plundered can use the time in such a lockup to contemplate the harm that they have done to this country and its people and to repent of their wicked deeds. Welcome once again to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Joshua Van Slegman here. Let's get to the top stories we're tracking this morning. Liberia mandates all oil companies to contribute to renewable program, but Guyana demands nothing. EPA makes no commitment to correct outdated insurance provision in the Liza 1 permit. Ghana was able to take control of spending on oil field developments. Ghana should do the same according to energy strategists. And the government yet to share procurement details on marketer for fourth oil lift. And let's get to the news in details. Even though Liberia does not have a well-developed upstream oil and gas industry, it has certainly taken several measures to ensure that its citizens are well protected in a deal struck with the oil giants like ExxonMobil. This is quite evident in a production sharing agreement that is signed with the oil in 2013. In that agreement, it notes that ExxonMobil is required to contribute to a rural energy fund in accordance with the African nation's national energy policy. The provision in the agreement outlines that the fund was established to integrate renewable energy technologies into rural development. Sticking with oil, when it comes to ExxonMobil's future oil developments, Liza 2 and Payara, Guyana is covered in the event of an oil spill. But in the case of Liza 1 project, the country is left exposed and runs the risk of acquiring massive debt to compensate for the damages. But while the EPA headed by Sharifa Razak has the opportunity to amend the document as it sees fit, it has made no move to do so. Moving on, Trinidadian energy strategist Anthony Paul said that Guyana must take control of the spending it does on floating production, storage and offloading FPSO vessels and other aspects of proposed field development to ensure that the economy serves the people of Guyana well. Paul spoke of how Ghana armed itself with officials who were technically capable of making the case in one instance that an additional FPSO proposed by oil companies was not necessary. He reported observing a clear decision-making process about the need or lack thereof for the second FPSO. The People's Progressive Party Civic Administration is yet to disclose to the public the procurement process that led to the selection of Hess Corporation, one of the Stabroek Bloc partners, as the marketer of Guyana's crude for its fourth oil lift. These revelations comes on the heels of promise by Vice President Dr. Barrett Ajagio after he gave the assurance that he would conduct a press conference to discuss those procurement details in the first week of January. we had not received any updates from the VP on when this press conference will be held. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Coming up after the break, mechanic stabbed for dropping home another man's wife. Probe launch into millions spent to establish Community Development Council, according to Minister Darmlal. And Soku questions Patterson and Adams on Harbour Bridge feasibility contract award.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and
You can also join us on Facebook at Kaieteur Radio, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Let's bring to you today's page 7 comment that is dedicated to being blunt in the Kaieteur News. Guyanese deserve to be involved in the value chain of their own petroleum industry, with assimilation occurring at the quick but realistic pace. For the Guyanese people to determine whether ExxonMobil and its partners are allowing through with their promises in this regard, we must be informed of the definitive targets and achievements made towards those targets as time goes by. It is not enough for the subcontractors like Slumberjay to make toothless statements with poetry and colorful language. Answer our questions or get out. We continue with your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM for today's Sunday, January 24th, 2021. A mechanic who was dropping home another man's wife on Friday morning was stabbed 4 times to his back and abdomen. Riaz Khan of Claybrick Road, Canal No. 2, West Bank, Demerara, is currently a patient at the Georgetown Public Hospital. According to the police, his condition is regarded as stable. Khan was stabbed around 1 hour that morning while dropping home a woman. Sources revealed that the mechanic was the woman's quote-unquote sweet man and was stabbed by her husband. Khan told police that while he was driving across the Bell West Access Bridge, the woman's husband blocked his path with his car. Region 3 police received no information about the woman or her husband. Khan also refused to tell the police about his stabber's address and occupation. He reportedly told investigators that he wanted no further action to be taken by the police in this matter. A probe has since been launched to verify the operations of the Community Development Councils under the previous administration. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development Nigel Darmlal said that he had not been able to confirm whether the groups were created, as there is no evidence to prove that they had been convened over the last 5 years. Minister Darmlal noted that despite the fact that no new councils were established, evidence points to hundreds of millions of dollars being diverted to the CDCs. Get the full details of that story in today's Kaieteur News. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Finally, at this time, SOCO appears to have reopened their probe into the awards of the $148 million New Demerara Harbour Bridge feasibility study contract, 1 year after it determined that there were no wrongdoings in the procurement process. SOCO on Friday had pulled in for questioning former Public Infrastructure Minister David Patterson, along with the recently resigned General Manager of the Demerara Harbour Bridge, Royalton Adams, regarding their involvement, but no details were provided as to the next step in the investigation. It is believed that charges will soon be instituted on Patterson. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let's remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you, or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I am Joshua Van Sleckman. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of the news and the technical team, wishing you and your family a great remainder of your Sunday morning and encouraging you to stay with us right here on Kaieteur Radio, the radio with a difference. Kevin Smith comes up next with today's Weekend Review, where we recap all the top stories we carried over the past week.
Hey, have you missed our newscasts during the week?